Kleine 10 Sekunden, bis jeder da ist. We'll wait another 10 seconds before everybody's there. Almost started in the wrong language. And I'd say, welcome everybody to this third live stream of MKN. And today, in the coming 30 minutes, we're going to show you something very special. We're going to show you something about smoking. Now, we all know MKN has a great combi steamer. It's a very multifunctional piece of equipment. And we can steam, we can grill, we can sous vide, we can dry, we can roast, we can almost everything. But we added another option, and that option is called Smoke Inside by MKN. This gives us the possibility to add smoke to the oven chamber and create a whole new world of cooking. And this is not about preserving food, this is about making culinary differences. Now, here we see two models equipped with our smoking box. This is a team, a 6-pan on a 6-pan with the upper one equipped with the smoking unit. And here we have a 10-pan. So through our assortment of combi steamers, the 6-pan and the 10-pan can be equipped with this great attachment, the Smoke Inside. Especially here, I mean, I started smoking yesterday. I did a nice Texas brisket, and that takes about 14 hours. So I smoked it overnight, first 2-3 hours of smoking, then it went into a low and slow program, and then I transferred it to the bottom machine where it's in the holding mode, so I can show you later on a nice, warm, and juicy brisket. Again, this is all about adding another dimension to the already very multi-versatile cooking platform we have here, the MKN FlexiCombi. And this really is a difference. There's a lot of smoking attachment available in the market. Some have these boxes with a cable that goes into the oven chamber, where you have all the heat radiation from the burning wood inside. We have this all exterior. So that means we can go very slow. We can smoke butter. We can smoke oil. You would say, smoking oil, why? Well, with smoking oil, you can make a smoky mayonnaise. You can make a smoky dressing. You can use it as a kind of basting for after grilling your steaks or whatever, and have this really very intense or mild smoky flavor, however you want to have it. I've already loaded this combi. When we look here, and we see nice mild smoke. I set it to very mild smoke. You say, ooh, this is a big oven chamber. Yes, it sure is. But this is still a 1x1 GN, or hotel pan as we call it on the other side of the Atlantic, machine. That means I can do much more than any other 1x1 FlexiCombi with lengthwise inserts. I have ribs here. I'm smoking spatchcock chicken. I'm doing some hot smoked salmon. Here I have tomatoes. I'll catch the drippings from my chicken into these tomatoes. Those will be smoked, and they will be the basis of my homemade barbecue sauce afterwards. And here, and this is ready now, I have smoked some salt. Smoked salt is a hot item nowadays. You can use it in your grinder or whatever. From the first view, you would say, well, that's not really smoked. But when I take the original stuff here, I put a little bit of the salt I started with, you can see the color difference and see that that salt absorbed a lot of smoke. So you don't need to buy it. You can make it yourself, and then you can choose. Do you want to have a very intense smoky flavored salt or a very light flavored salt? Because with the Smoke Inside function, you can set 4 different intensities, from light to very heavy smoke. That's because, of course, there is a lot of differences in the market. Everybody has a different flavor. Somebody like it really intense smoke. Sometimes especially with fish, you want something to have a very light, smoky flavor to that. And this is all possible with this Smoke Inside by MKN system. Now, this machine isn't working because I wanted to have it cold. I can show you. This is a smoke box. what we have here is a drawer. What you do is you take wood chips. Here I have beech wood and I have soaked ones. The soaked ones, they burn a lot slower, so you get more smoke and you can smoke longer with the same load of wood. You just put these chips inside the drawer, put the drawer in here, and now you say, yeah, well, now I have to smoke. What settings do I need? I don't have any experience with smoking. Of course, the Combi already has a lot of prepared smoking processes for you. The only thing you need to do is go to AutoChef. I take the program for smoked brisket. It uploads the program, and then when I start it, it's going to tell me exactly what to do. It tells me put the smoke on a stainless steel grid after signal preheated. So you don't have to be worried when you don't have the experience with smoking. When you use our smoking programs, we'll guide you to the target. We kind of navigate you through that whole process and get you there where you want to get. And the nice thing is, when you keep on using those programs, day in, day out, you will have exact the same end result. So you will have a very high consistency in your end quality. We have a question coming in.
What type of wood can be used?
Well, good question. What type of wood can be used? There's a lot of different woods available. There's oak, there's beech, there's mesquite, there's pecan. In general, all wood. As long as it are wood chips, so no big chunks, of course they don't fit in the drawer, and no sawdust. That sawdust will be sucked into the Combi steamer and will be mixed with the food, and we don't want that. But it's all about a question of flavor. Mesquite, we all know, gives a very intense and dark smoking flavor, very sharp, while beechwood, what is used in a lot of smoking dishes in Europe, gives a more a mild smoky flavor. So whatever wood you want can be used, and that's another nice thing. It doesn't have to be a special brand. It doesn't have to have a special form. It doesn't have a special shape to get it into the drawer. You just go to your local outdoor shop, your fishing shop, where they all sell wood for smoking, and you can start using that kind of wood. So how does a smoking process in general look like? First, you start preparing the meat, and what you need to do is you need to brine it. In general, there's two ways of brining. There's a wet brine, where you add salt to water. Salt and other components then can bring flavor to your product. And that salt, the solution will be 5 to 10% of salt per liter of water. You soak that overnight, then you let it dry. That's very important. The surface of your smoked product should be dry, and then you can start smoking it. You can do a dry brine where you just sprinkle your mostly salt and sugar mixture over your meat or fish. Let that draw in for about 12 hours. You rinse it, pat it dry, and then you can start smoking. Again, what a lot of people ask, yeah, but once I use my my Combi steamer for smoking, I can't do anything else in there. Well, that's not completely true, because with our perfect cleaning system, the Wave Clean, after only one cleaning cycle, that Combi steamer gets perfectly clean, and you can start doing other stuff in there. And if we have a look here, the nice thing here is that when we clean with our Wave Clean system, we only need one cartridge, and this door is completely sealed, so I don't need to go in between, do some manual cleaning. You hear that? I love that. That's the sound of quality, huh? Let's do it again. Yeah. So cleaning is very easy. Once you do one cleaning, you take the empty cartridge out, you are good to go baking, to go steaming, whatever you want to do. And that's, again, a big difference. And I invite you, discover the difference, do it together with us, go to our website. Especially today, we added another page on our website. It's all about smoking. Go to Combi Steamers and you'll get to smoking immediately. Everything you can find on our website, www.mkn.com. That's where you find that. And don't forget to like us here on Instagram. All right. What I want to show you is the brisket we already have in. Like I said, I smoked this 2 hours yesterday. Oh, this is pretty hot. Before I do that, I'm going to add the oil to my smoker. I need some oil because I want to make some smoky mayonnaise here. Another interesting thing, come Jonathan, have a look here with me. I just set time and temperature here, but through the rec timer, I can use the core probe as well. While I'm just going into, I'm working in a standard program. So the side of salmon is almost there, and the combi steamer keeps track of me. So I can keep on talking to you while the machine will take care that I don't overcook that salmon. And look at this. This is brisket as we want to have it. A nice dark bark on top. You see, it's covered in nice smoke crust. We have the grains here. We follow these. Look at that color and look at that smoke ring. Huh? People say that, a lot of people say that smoke ring when you smoke in a combi is impossible. Well, here's the proof. We have a lovely smoke ring. This is nice and juicy brisket. Yes, I hear there's a question coming in.
How long does it take to smoke?
Good question. Only good questions coming in today. How long does it take to smoke? Again, depends on your product, depends on how far you want to have it cooked. This was a 3-hour, let's say 3-hour smoke with a 12-hour overnight cooking program. The salmon I have in here is about a 30-minute smoke. You want to have it really dark and heavily smoked, you let it in a little bit longer. So it's all about just try. And if you start playing with it, you'll find out yourself how you like your smoking and how long it takes. And otherwise, of course, there's always a possibility to get in contact with the MKN culinary specialist, to ask questions through our website, to come to one of our seminars. So there's a lot of ways how you can learn about that. I hear there's another question coming in.
Do you need special wood chips?
I think we just touched that subject. Important is you use wood chips, and for the rest, it doesn't matter. Beechwood is the wood I would advise to start with because it gives a really mild smoke. But if you want to have more intense smoke, you can go to oak or to mesquite or that kind of wood. So we hear the signal telling me that the smoked salmon is ready. And what is interesting is I have 2 types of salmon here, just to show you how it works with the different smoking levels. So I'll just put the salt to the side here. I'll take my side of salmon. Uh-oh. And here you see a light smoked salmon. And this one was in half an hour longer. This is a heavily smoked salmon. And that is all possible with our smoke inside. So you can have it the way you want to have it. A little pity that got stuck to the grid, but I mean, that's what happens when you do live cooking. So you see, everything is possible. Now, let's get back to that brisket. Normally how we would serve that here, we take a nice piece of crispy baked bread. And of course we did that in the combi too. We take a little bit of barbecue sauce. And again, this was homemade barbecue sauce made from the tomatoes, as you just saw. We'll have some marinated onions with that. Yep, just with the mustard, honey, and some pink pepper. And here you see, this is our smoked sandwich that's on the menu today. Okay, with our You see how nice that bark is, and you can hear it's crispy. That's how we want to have our brisket. Here we have a piece of pork belly. That piece of pork belly needs to be smoked because now I have some more space in the combi. I brined this overnight, but I'm going to add a rub. I made a rub from paprika, sugar, cumin, oregano, pink pepper, salt. And I'm just going to sprinkle it nice, cover it completely with the rub. Let this set for a few minutes because then the rub will get stuck because of the moist to the meat itself, and then we will pop it into the smoker and start smoking that. Another question coming in.
Can you do cold smoke?
Yes, define cold smoke. If we look at cold smoking is a process that's below 20 degrees Celsius and takes between 8 hours and 3 days. And that's about preserving food. We cannot do this, and you wouldn't do that in a combi like that because you need your combi for other stuff. Because of the fact that we have burning wood in here, we can go not lower than 30 degrees, but that's still cold enough to do smoked butter, like I said, to smoke almonds, to smoke your oil. So we can go very low, but cold smoke, no. And again, that's not an issue, I think, to do in a combi steamer. I'll have a little check on other stuff here. You see how nice that smoke is. The oil needs a little bit more to go. That pork goes in here over the ribs, so it doesn't matter if that drips. And I think we can take the ribs out and have a look at those. You see, spare ribs. You see how easy the meat comes from the bone here. These were cooked for, let's have a look at the clock, 40 minutes. 40 minutes of smoking. They're not too dark, so there's still a lot of flavor from the rub and from the meat itself. And this is how I think, especially for this part of the world, how things should be smoked. And again, there's a cultural difference, of course. In Russia, we see a lot of smoking sausages. Of course, in the United States, we see a lot of very intense smoking. But with the combi, we can cover all of these differences. Another question.
What about HACCP data?
During the smoking, HACCP data will be collected. And if you use the core probe, that will be collected as well. So afterwards, you can download the HACCP program, and you can exactly see what day, what time, what's the name of the program, what was your heat curve, what was the curve of your core temperature. So everything is traceable and can be downloaded into a system where you register your HACCP. Another question.
Won't there be any flavor transfer when you're mixing products?
That's an interesting thing. No, there won't be because the oven is filled with smoke. Flavor cannot be transferred. The only thing where you have to take care is, of course, drippings. If this drips onto another product, yes, you will have flavor transfer, but in this case, this is good because I want to have this flavor into my tomatoes. That gives me a very nice flavor to my tomato sauce afterwards. The nice thing of this smoking is that the smoking is part of the operation system of the combi. So I can make multi-step cooking programs, up to 20 steps, where I integrate the smoking into my cooking program. So I can start with smoking and then do a low and slow overnight. Or I can do first the low and slow cooking for 2 days and finish with an hour or 2 hours of smoking. I can store that into my AutoChef. So forever I have these programs available and everybody can do the job. And that's the nice thing of this system, of this combi. The combi helps you to get there where you want, to this nice, consistent end result. Another question.
How long does one charge of wood chips
Of course, that depends on the setting. If you have a full drawer of soaked wood chips and you go into light smoking, this will hold up to an hour. If you go intense, you will have 30 to 40 minutes. So that is that differs a little bit, because if you go to much chunkier wood like this size, again, you can increase your smoking time up to 1.5 hours. You have to experiment a little bit with this. And like I said, you don't have to be a professional pitmaster to work with the Flex Fusion, with the FlexiCombi. Sorry for that. With the FlexiCombi, the Smoke Inside, in our FlexiCombi, we have guided cooking. Guided cooking means auto chef, set programs. We have the favorite list. Those programs are easy to find. And then when you start those programs, there's Chef's Help. Chef's Help tells you exactly when to do something and how to do it, with a picture in there. So if you have people that at least can read, they can operate here your smoking system, and you will have this brisket every day exactly the same. And that, of course, is what we want. I told you that after smoking, you can start using that combi for something completely different. The only thing you have to do is a cleaning cycle. Take the cartridge, start up the cleaning system. It tells you when to put in the cartridge. You pop off the lid, put that upside down in the combi, close the door, acknowledge that, walk away, and when that is ready, you can do anything else in that combi. And again, I love this. Smooth door, you don't have to open this. I'm a chef, I'm a bit lazy. I like things being done easy, because then it's done more repeatedly. Another question?
Can you control humidity during smoke process?
No, we don't, because humidity and smoking is a kind of issue. If that humidity gets too high, you will get condensation on the surface of your product, and that will wash away the layer of smoke that has been attached to that. To prevent that from happening, we pre-programmed the combi steamer in a way that you always have optimal smoking results. And again, this is very important. That took us quite some time to get the perfect result there. Another question?
We spoke at the beginning about it. Where can I get wood chips?
Wood chips, I mentioned that before. There's a lot of cook shops where you can get this. In barbecue shops, outdoor shops sell wood chips. Shops where you can buy fishing equipment, they normally sell wood chips for smoking, so it's really available. Or go onto the internet. There's a lot of companies that offer wood chips online, and will be brought to your front door. So very easy. Wow, we have a busy crowd today. Another question.
What is the best temperature for smoking?
Ah, yes. If you go low, you will have condensation on the surface. That's what we don't want. But if you go low, you can smoke longer. For the salmon and for the chicken, I'm using 110 degrees. That's a temperature I really like for medium smoking programs. Of course, I could go to 80. Then it took me maybe 45 minutes more to get to my core temperature or to my cooking yield. Core temperature is guiding what you want to do. And again, go book one of our seminars, go onto the internet, call our hotline, talk to our culinary experts. They can ask you questions. They will look into your situation, how you want to have it, and we will come up with the perfect smoking settings for your restaurant. All right. I'll have a check on my chicken here. Jonathan, come have a look. Look at the color of this chicken. Ain't that great? It's not really completely cooked yet, so we give it another, I think, 10 minutes. Here, our kitchen is already nice and smoky. We all smell like smoked beechwood, an experience you guys at home don't have, of course. But we have the luck that we can start trying all this stuff afterwards. So we have another question.
Is there a preferred size of wood chips you recommend?
Well, everything between, let's say, 1 and 3 centimeters would be perfect. If it gets smaller, you'll have a lot of sawdust in between. If it gets bigger, you don't get the right quantity of wood into your drawer. So normally, if you buy wood chips here in Europe, it has about this size, and this is perfect. And this one, that's why it's on a perforated tray. I soaked this before, completely submerged in water for an hour, put it on a perforated pan with a dripping pan, and have this standby for my smoking. Wow, another question.
What about the expensive flavored wood chips? Do they make much difference?
They make a difference, but not as much as I would say as people say. If you really want to add flavor to your product, I'd say do that in the brine. For example, brine your pork belly not in water with salt, but in apple juice with salt. Or add a dill and lemon to the brine of your salmon to get more flavor. There is some things that really change the flavor, like tea, like juniper berries, that kind of stuff. But if you smoke game or stuff, that might be really nice to have that flavor on that product. But of course, there is difference in the wood chips. But I'd say if you really want to add a distinguished flavor, do that with your marinade. Another question.
After cleaning the chamber, is there any smoke smell left?
No, there's no smoke smell left. There might be a little hint of smoke, but the nice thing is that, or what we found out is when we were testing this system and we smoked for days in a row, and then we did a cleaning cycle, and after the cleaning cycle, we were all very, like, oh, what's going to happen inside? We opened it, and there was a very little whiff of smoke in there. But we steamed fish, we baked muffins. There is no flavor recognizable coming from the smoking you did previously. So that is really perfect. I think I have told my story about smoking. If you have more questions, please go onto our website. Don't forget to like us. We will be back shortly with another live stream with another interesting subject. Our website is www.mkn.com. Don't forget to go on there, have a look at smoking, and I'd say see you next time.